Another position battle that everybody has been talking about throughout camp is what's going to happen in right field. Of course, Juan Soto leaving right field to move to left. Juan Soto going to left field because he's been working at left field. He's going to play left field when the World Baseball Classic opens up. He'll be playing left field for the Dominican Republic team. And he's also previously played left field when he was a member of the San Diego Padres. Center field locked up with Luis Robert Jr. That was evident once Brandon Nimmo was traded, and then the Mets came and brought Luis Robert over. And now the big question is, all right, so we need a left fielder. Soto shifted to left. What's going to happen in right field? So there are 4 candidates in camp who will be battling for right field, and we'll pull them up here as you see the graphic. We have a 4-man position battle for right field. Of course, the incumbent who played most of center field last season, Tyrone Taylor. We have MJ Melendez, who spent last season with the Kansas City Royals. He was actually signed to a 1-year big league deal. We have the person who everybody's going to go ahead and root for, according to what I've seen from fellow Met fans that I've talked to and spoken to and other programs I've seen, and Carson Bench, the sensation, who's been tearing up the minors, no major league experience, however. And then earlier in the week, or late last week, I should say, the Mets went ahead and signed former Yankee, former San Francisco Giant, Mike Tauchman. So 4 guys in camp. Tauchman, of course, signing a minor league deal. So if he does not start this season, in Flushing, he more than likely, if he's willing to take the assignment, will start it in Syracuse. So this is a very interesting one because, again, Tyrone Taylor, again, he wasn't meant to be the everyday center fielder last season, but when Jose Siri got hurt, that opened up the door for Tyrone Taylor. The Mets did not pursue any outfield options. They did not pursue any outfield options. So that's that. MJ Melendez, again, solid defender, decent bat. He played last season with the Kansas City Royals. We'll go over MJ Melendez's numbers. MJ Melendez, in the 2025 regular season, however, injury-plagued season, didn't really play well. Had 60 at-bats with the Royals. Hit a not-so-flattering .083 with 1 home run, 1 RBI, OPS of 321. But again, he only played in 60 games. Lifetime, Melendez, 1,465 at-bats, a .215 batting average, 52 homers, 163 RBIs, 12 stolen bags, lifetime OPS of 685. MJ Melendez has been in the bigs since 2022. Every season of his career spent with the Kansas City Royals, so this is his first opportunity to do something with a different organization than what he is used to. Then we have Carson Bench. Carson Bench, again, is a top prospect in the Mets organization, highly touted, the 23-year-old outfielder who is he's had some at-bats in spring training already. Hasn't gotten a hit yet, but that's not indicative of anything. We still have a long spring training to go. But Carson Bench, the one guy that they want to see make it. Last season, 2025, in the minors, Carson Bench jumped around the organization. He was a Brooklyn Cyclone for 60 games. He was a Binghamton Rumble Pony for 32 games. And he was a Syracuse Met for the last 24 games of 2025. So those numbers. Brooklyn, of course, is high A, where Bench hit 302. Binghamton, he hit 317. And then he somewhat struggled in Syracuse at 178. So, he climbed up the ladder and then got to the highest ladder of the minors and couldn't hit for some reason. But again, 23 years old. I don't expect him to. Uh, I don't expect the hype on Carson Bench to die down because of a one bad stretch of games in the last part of a season. Again, 24 games in Syracuse AAA for Carson Bench. Uh, he's very productive. 37 RBIs in Brooklyn in 60 games. He had 23 RBIs in 32 games in Binghamton, and even 13 and 24 in AAA Syracuse last season. So Carson Bench knows how to drive in runs. Carson Bench is a guy that if I got guys in scoring position on second and third, I want him in the game. And then we go to Mike Tauchman. So Mike Tauchman, this was an interesting invite to camp because I heard that the Mets picked up Mike Tauchman, and I was like, I mean, it was already a three-man race, Taylor, Melendez, Benj, and then they bring in Mike Tauchman, which was weird. Of course, Mike Tauchman played a few seasons in MLB with various teams. He went overseas for a little bit and went to the KBO and played for the Hanwha Eagles in 2022, made a name for himself and came back stateside. But Mike Tauchman, last season, Tauchman was a member of the Chicago White Sox, one of the worst teams in all of baseball last season, and actually put up very decent numbers. Mike Tauchman in 335 at-bats last year, where he played in 93 games, had a 263 average, 9 home runs, 40 RBIs, OPS of 756. Career-wise, in 1,550 at-bats, he's a lifetime 246 hitter, 41 home runs, 195 RBIs, career OPS 727. Not bad numbers. He's previously been a member of the Colorado Rockies, the New York Yankees, San Francisco Giants, the Cubs, and the White Sox, as I mentioned. Tauchman, the advantage that he would have over everybody else here, he's the longest tenured player of the bunch. His big league career began in 2017. Tyrone Taylor's was 2018. MJ Melendez 2022. So definitely a veteran presence. He was on those Yankee teams that reached the postseason time after time. So he knows what it takes to get to playoff baseball. I stand corrected. Tyrone Taylor, his career started in 2019. So Tauchman has the edge. But again, Mike Tauchman, solid veteran. He could be in a spring training locker room or clubhouse, I should say, that's gonna have some young, inexperienced guys in it, like a Ryan Clifford, like a Carson Bench. He could potentially be a mentor to those young guys, teach them some things. And Tauchman again, not bad lifetime numbers. Career 248 hitter. Again, I always say that's close to 250. I always say 250 might as well be the modern day 300. Tauchman, not bad in that sense. But again, it's this is a who's race. As far as what I think, Tyrone Taylor, again, I get it. He was the everyday center fielder because the Mets just simply didn't want to go out and get anybody after Jose Siri got hurt last season. Okay, whatever. I don't think he should be the starting right fielder. MJ Melendez, after the clunker he put up last season, that season of a season, I don't think he should get the nod either, at least not to start, definitely as a backup or a platoon option. Again, Melendez, a guy who, maybe for defense, he's a career 215 hitter. So, it just remains to be seen. So far in spring training, though, he's 1 for 5, batting 200 so far in the Grapefruit League. But Melendez, I wouldn't mind seeing him in a backup role. I feel like Tyrone Taylor's been given too many chances. He basically had all of last season. I was a head scratcher that he was even brought back in arbitration by Stearns and Co. So very surprising move. The Mets they avoided arbitration and signed him to a 1-year deal. did they do with Taylor? But I think he's run out of chances. He has no minor league option, so if he's not going to make the club, they got to release him outright. He'll probably catch on somewhere, but not as an everyday player. Benj. Here's the interesting thing about Carson Benj. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, but he was hurt in AAA. And I get that, but only 24 games of AAA experience. And AAA is basically major league light, if I should say that. That's like the final step before, before you're ready for the show. And only 24 games, and yeah, he was hurt, but didn't even crack the Mendoza line in those 24 games. But I feel like Benj needs more seasoning. If he starts off the season in the minors and he's tearing it up midway through, or even in the first couple of months, then if an injury happens or you let somebody go, then bring him up. No problem with that. Mike Talkman, I think Mike Talkman should get the crack at right field. I know that's not the popular opinion here, and I may be on an island of my own. I see a lot of comments. I'm going to get to the comments in just a second, so nobody in the comments, please think I'm ignoring you. But I'm going to go ahead and give Mike Talkman the nod. Now, some people are going to say, well, yeah, he was on the White Sox last season. Somebody had to put up decent numbers. But that's not true, because you can have individual greatness in baseball and be on bad teams. Just ask Tony Gwynn. He's in the Hall of Fame. He did it. Not comparing Talkman to Tony Gwynn, of course. But Mike Talkman, again, career 248 hitter. A guy who has been around winning cultures in baseball, something that the Mets are not consistently used to, is winning cultures. So I don't have an issue with if Mike Talkman were to be the guy selected for the right field position. Again, I just feel like Benj, with the lack of experience at the highest level of the minors, plus the struggles he had when he had his cup of coffee there, I don't think that he should break camp as the starting right fielder. And also, like I said with Mauricio, it doesn't make sense to have a guy start in a break camp and start in the season if you're just going to let him sit there and watch games from the dugout, when he can be a contributor and get reps at a lower level, and then that'll prepare him for future success. You never want to set any of these guys up to fail. So, I would rather see Mike Talkman and MJ Melendez go ahead and get the nods.